Welcome to the Grumpy Old Gamer podcast. My name is Ian, and I am joined today by my two very distinguished hosts. I'm joined by Tim.
Hello.
And I'm joined by Al.
Oh, mate. Okay.
How's everybody doing? You doing all right, man?
Yeah. It just feels like ages since we've done this.
It's been a minute.
And I know that with recording schedules and things like that, and I think but it feels like ages since I've actually sat down and I know we chat often, but not in this kind of format. It just, we're not just shooting the shit, we're actually presenting a show. So
I
bear
feel
with.
exactly the same, because normally it's a bit of banter between us lot
Okay.
and others, and it can get a bit out of hand sometimes, but we need to be semi-professional at least in this.
Yes.
How about yourself?
Emphasis on the semi. I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. I'm excited because today we are coming back and we are answering questions of will we like this game. For those who aren't aware, at the season premiere, what we did is we challenged each other. We assigned each other each one game, so we each had 2 games total. And the challenge was to play these games, to experience them, and then to come back with your thoughts. So it's been a couple months, and we've had ample time to play all of them. So who would like to go first?
Me.
Al, take it away, sir.
I would like to go first. I'd like to go first with Ian's recommendation, which was Remnant 2.
All right.
Didn't play it. You know, it's I like the idea of it, and I think that you sold it really, really well. But I was on a for like 2 months, I was on a Space Marine 2 kick.
Yeah.
And I was playing it for hours daily, and nothing got a look in.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing at all got a look in. And then maybe about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, when I saw that you had Stellaris or Stellaris in your library, I was like, I haven't played that in a long time. I haven't touched Space Marine 2 since, because I've been playing Stellaris. It's fantastic. It's so absorbing. It just sucked me in. So I can only apologize that I wanted to get it out of the way at the start and just say, I'm terrible. You did a really good job of selling it, and so it's not your fault, it's my fault. I just have, I guess, a addictive personality, and I got addicted to playing Space Marine 2, and now I'm addicted to playing Stellaris, and I never played Remnant 2. Sorry.
God, I must admit though, the amount of hours every time we were chatting, it's like, how far are you in Space Marine? Oh, I've mastered this now, I've mastered that now. It's like, bloody hell, Al.
Al is a tank when it comes to that game. Well, that's very unfortunate that you didn't play the game. For those who aren't aware, Remnant is a third-person shooter. It's set in like a apocalyptic environment, and you just go around and it's a looter shooter. It's really good gunplay, really good fun. Even though Al didn't play it, I still recommend it to anyone. Really good fun. So, Tim, how about you? How about your recommendations?
Fuck Ubisoft. Battlefleet Gothic 2, which thankfully I already had, but because of course I did. Yeah, I loved it. It was really fun. We'll get into the nitty gritty and stuff later, but for what it's worth, it's just more Warhammer lore, and just, I can't believe it's saying this. I don't say this about tutorials, but I loved the tutorial. It was bloody great. And the other recommendation, as I said, fuck Ubisoft. Still can't quite believe it, but Far Cry 5. And I hate to say it, but I've really enjoyed it.
I knew it!
Yeah. It really wasn't that bad. But no, that had a annoyingly long intro, I must admit. Almost tedious to the point, but...
Yeah, because you gotta do the whole little island thing with what's his name?
Yeah, Colty McGee.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the environment, like with the cult? Like, was that an interesting enemies, did you feel?
Yeah. I did enjoy that. I think it was an interesting premise. I just started going around shooting people in the end, because I could. And it's, I think I sent you a message as soon as I got the doggo. Yep. I was like, God damn it, I'm spoiled.
Gotta love the Boomer, the dog. Gotta love that.
That's it. Yeah. That was really fun. And then when you start getting, like encampments and stuff like that, it was neat. It was a neat little game.
So controversial take, but I recommended 5 because to me, that's my favorite Far Cry. That's when I feel like they peaked. Controversial.
I wouldn't say it's controversial. It's very good. I'd say Far Cry 3 was probably the best of when they started going down that route. Then again, I can't say shit. I haven't really played Far Cry 4 or 6. But
Do you ever play Primal? The one where you're a caveman going around, ooh, 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 ooh.
yeah, no,
Ah, that's good.
didn't interest me.
It was surprisingly good, and like I thought I was going to be like, oh, so what? I'm going to have one stick, and then I upgraded to a bigger stick or whatever. But no, it's actual cool, and the upgrades to the weapons and system felt very nice, and it was good progression. So yeah,
Yeah, it didn't interest me. In all honesty, Ubisoft games just don't interest me. I only played it because you recommended it, and you know what? It was a good recommendation.
yep.
And on that note, what did you get?
So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but Al, instead of doing the recommendation he's supposed to be doing, decided to play Stellaris because he saw that I was playing Stellaris. But I'll have you know, sir, that I played Stellaris, and I didn't like it at all. It was too much for my tiny little
Yeah.
brain. It looked so cool. The alien races and everything looked really interesting. It looked very complex. I could not, for the life of me, could not sink my teeth into it. And I've to be fair, I've never played a 4X game before, so that was like my first time ever trying a 4X game, and I just didn't connect with it. Just didn't happen. But I do think that it is a very cool looking game, and I can see why a lot of people would be into it. It does seem a little DLC predatory bit. Is that fair to say, or do they have a lot of add-ons? Like, because I think it's cost like what, like a couple $100 to get the entire Stellaris experience.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's ridiculous. There's and it's not predatory. It's been out for so long, and they've just consistently been updating it. It's when you think they can't think of something new, they think of something new. Al brought this up in the past podcast. Actually, they do like a monthly subscription where you pay like a tenner or something like that, and you get all the expansions for
Oh.
like a month.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, but if you think the base game's overwhelming, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I saw there was like 12 alien species, and they all looked completely unique. And like, man, it would take hours and hours and hours to even scratch the surface on this.
It does take a long time to scratch the surface. You're right, but it's one of those things where if you persevere, you will fall into the rabbit hole. And it is just, it is my most played game. It is my most played game as we.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
More than City Skylines.
If I check Steam, tell a lie. So it's my second most played. In fact, no, it's my most played game now because I've put quite a few hours in over the last 6 weeks. Yeah, more than City Skylines now. Yeah. But
how many hours does it say you have?
I don't really want to say. I don't want to. Enough.
Enough.
Is it in the thousands?
It's in it. It's yes. It is in the thousands. Yes. But I can understand why it wouldn't appeal because, and I mean this in the way that I don't mean this negative, but you're not that kind of gamer. Like you play games about digging holes and things like that. So, Stellaris, it isn't a casual game. It requires commitment. It requires spending time working things out, and it requires a lot of trial and error to see how things work, and if they don't work, then you try it a different way. And it isn't something which you can do in 30 minutes. You need to do it in 30 days. You need to be prepared to put the work in, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the end.
It's a little jarring coming into a new genre because, like, it's one thing if, like, it's kind of hard to play this new shooter game or whatever, but it's like another thing to say, this new game is hard and I'm not used to shooters either, so then it's double hard. So that's kind of like with me in 4X, where, this is my first experience with 4X, first time actually putting the game on and hitting play. And you're right, it's not my bag, baby. It's not my bag.
Yeah, and that's cool. And I guess the purpose of this was for us to suggest things which would take people out of their comfort zones or away from the things that they would normally play. Hence Remnant 2, which I never bothered with. But it really was a situation where we tried to do recommendations for people which we think would be different from what they were used to. And I appreciate and I accept that Stellaris was perhaps a step too far. And when you say about it being the first time you've really gone into 4X, Stellaris is probably one of the more simpler 4X games.
Yeah.
There's things which are far more complex than that. So good effort for trying it. At least you did. But it's I say it's a shame. I don't care. I think it's brilliant. I love it. I mean, I just have loads of mods, and it's great, and it's a fantastic emergent story role playing game.
What I will say about the DLCs, me and my mate Lumi, we used to play it multiplayer. He has all the DLCs. When you play with someone who has all the DLCs, you get all the DLCs in that multiplayer game. So you can kind of muck around with anything before you commit. And there was a few DLCs. I was like, oh, I really want to get that. So I tried it and I did. So I'll give them that.
Now, when I first started talking about Stellaris, I said that it had perhaps predatory DLC, and you said that it was not predatory. In your guys' opinion, at which line do games become predatory with their DLC? What's the...
What I actually said was, because it's been going so long, they're still investing in it. And they're still putting these DLCs out. They're only cheap. They're only 15 quiz. Not like you're buying a new game. But essentially, when you buy the DLCs, you are buying a new game. They're really impactful. When it's predatory, I would say, if it's a multiplayer game, for example, and person A, let's say this is you've paid 60 quid for a new game, but person A here is just playing multiplayer as it is. Person B over there spends 20 quid on top of that 60 quid and gets better guns straight away. I would say that's predatory.
So when it gives you a clear advantage in the game.
Especially when you've already laid down money.
I would agree with that. I
don't know whether it's predatory. I mean, I don't have the most recent DLCs. I don't have Biogenesis, which is $21.99. This is in pounds, so that's about $4 million, isn't it? I don't have Biogenesis, which is 22 quid. I don't have Shadows of the Shroud, which is 16.75, and I don't have Infernals, which is a species pack at £11. And I don't have what's this? Is there one more that I'm missing as well? No, there's not one. But there's a new season pass that's come out. There's a season 10 expansion pass, which is £41. So it is expensive. And you mentioned about the subscription. I found myself in a weird situation where I don't want to pay all the money for the expansions, because that would be about 100 quid to get all of those expansions, which I'm missing because I have all the rest. But I don't want to do the subscription because I have most of them, and I feel like I wouldn't get. Does that make sense? It's like,
it's a catch-22, mate.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck in this really weird, bizarre place where the subscription isn't enough value because I have most of them, but at the same time I'm not willing to spend another 100 quid on the ones that I'm missing.
The one thing I have noticed about Stellaris, though, whenever there's a sale, be it Easter, summer, Halloween, or Christmas, Stellaris generally is on the list where they really ramp down the DLC prices. It always seems to be on the list.
What percentage you talking?
The base game is often 75% off, but the recent DLCs you typically only get about 20% off.
I'm talking about the older ones. If you want to catch up.
Yeah. The older ones tend to be quite cheap, but the newer ones you might get a 20% discount. So, but the thing is with so there's a mod. It's called Ancient Cache of Technologies, and it is in itself, it's probably bigger than any paid, and it's free. and it's probably bigger than any paid DLC in terms of the amount of content that it drops into the game. It allows you to progress towards to becoming a fallen empire, and you get access to all of the fallen empire ships. It is just this immense. If you want to play Stellaris and you want to get loads and loads of content, Akot, Ancient Cache of Technologies, is just superb. There's Gigastructures as well as another mod. There's so many mods out there which will flesh out the base game without you spending any extra money. I mean, I maybe have about 300-400 mods installed probably for Stellaris, and it's
wow.
I think when you look for the amount of hours I've played, I think I've done 3 achievements because I've always played it modded. Because I don't know, man. It's a shame that you didn't like it, but I think it's brilliant.
Probably will pick it up again and give it another shot at some point, especially if I hear about you playing Remnant.
If you've got time, that's it. You need to sink your teeth into it. Any 4X, you need to sink your teeth into, because yeah.
Al actually suggested that I go on YouTube and watch like an intro video to like before you play Stellaris and stuff like that, and I really should have done that.
Yes, you should have done,
because I think that there's yeah, I should have listened to Al.
But isn't it lazy? So I was having this conversation with somebody else before. Isn't it? In fact, it was when we were talking to our mutual friend Dave about he was playing Path of Exile 2, and
it was Path of Exile.
Yeah,
everybody's got into that again.
And he was saying that, and I think somebody else recommended, oh well, you need to go and watch a guide. And I was like, isn't it lazy game design if, in order for somebody to actually enjoy playing a game, they have to go to a third-party site in order to find out what to do? That just, is that really? I know we're going off topic here, but who gives a shit? Is that really fair? Is that a good practice?
I think we talked about this a little bit when we were talking about game difficulty. And there's very different mindsets where some game developers are like, no, this is the experience. It is one experience that I want people to share. I want it to be exactly the same. And then on the other spectrum, you have game designers who are like, no, let them, you play whatever difficulty you want. You can turn off hunger, thirst, enemies, dying, anything. Like you can do what you want to do.
Yeah, because it was yesterday and there was quite a few lads playing. I think what they didn't realise, he was level 5, and at that point, you figure out the game yourself. What they were saying was they were recommending, like, hey, this is a skill thing for, like, level 60, whilst he's at level 5. And I was like, stop overwhelming him. He'll learn. This one's far easier than the first one. It kind of does hold your hand a little bit in comparison.
I think Path of Exile 2 is kind of like Stellaris in that, like, it seems a little intimidating at first, especially when you see the skill tree. But what is that? The passive skills.
Yeah, it's a skill tree essentially.
But I think it makes sense. The stuff kind of makes sense, and I've been playing. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's some games. I mean, I think I brought this up in the past. My favorite MMO, which got shut down, Star Wars Galaxies. They were like, hey, look, here's Star Wars. You're on Mos Eisley now. That was it. It was a big MMO. You had to figure it out. But I think that was the point of the game. But at the same time, I do think some developers are just lazy and they just can't be asked, to put it bluntly.
So one semi-controversial thing that's happened, there's a game that came out recently in early access called Subnautica 2.
Oh, I love it. And
in Subnautica 1 and Subnautica Below Zero, you can kill the fish. Like, they give you a survival knife and you can, the big scary Leviathan fish, like, you can get out of your ship, shoot them with a stasis rifle so he can't move, and then you can slice him like, 1,000 times and then eventually kill him. But they took that away from the second one. And when they asked about it at a Discord, they replied that, well, gamers should just go play some other game if they want to go kill things. That's not the game experience that we want. And I think that they're kind of leaning in the first camp I said, where it's like they have a vision for the experience and they want everyone to experience it the exact same way. But I don't think you can really do that in today's world. I think you do have to have some adjustable settings for the difficulty. Otherwise, you're just going to lose an audience.
We could talk about this for hours. I mean, it could be just the Stellaris show at this point.
Yeah, it could.
Al, I know we've played it quite a bit, but what did you think of Tekken?
So Tekken 7 was Tekken Tag Tournament with better graphics. I don't think... I enjoyed playing Tekken. I always enjoyed playing Tekken back in the day, and I enjoyed Tekken 7. There was a bit of a nostalgia hit when, you know, like martial law and the different characters, Yoshimitsu, that you've used before, and you know, to see them again, there was a bit of a nostalgia hit. But it hasn't progressed sufficiently. But I think you get this situation where it's like, well, if you progress too far, then you alienate your core fans. If you don't move far enough, then you piss off the people who want to see some progression. But I didn't feel there was enough additional in Tekken 7 for me to say this is such a far superior version of Tekken compared to the games I played on the PlayStation. And what I didn't like was all of the crap, is the only way I can describe it, like the different skins and hats and things. These are things which they just detract from the core pleasure and joy of the gameplay by, you know, and it's gamification in a game. Fight all these different fights, and you get to the next level, and you get a new hat. It's what's going on, man. You know, Tekken was a pure party beat 'em up. Where did it go wrong?
The reason I recommended Tekken 7 is because it's just Tekken. I didn't expect you to even say that much, in all honesty.
Where does this Tekken fall in the other Tekkens? Like, in the range of like all the Tekken games, like where you have the best on one end and the worst on one end. Is it in the middle? Is it at the end? Where is it?
It's the 7th one.
7th one. Okay, thank you. No, there'll be no further questions.
No, I don't know. I played the original Tekken on the original PlayStation. I played Tekken Tag Tournament. Was that Tekken 2, or was Tekken 2 a separate game as well? I can't remember.
There was Tekken 1, 2, and 3 on the original PlayStation. Then Tekken Tag Tournament was like a release game, I'd like to say, on the PS2.
Yeah. So I played Tekken 1, I played Tekken 2. I think I maybe skipped Tekken 3 because I think I got into PC gaming around then. Then when I got a PS2 and I got Tekken Tag Tournament, and that was just fabulous. I just loved it. Because there was an obvious evolution from the original Tekken. It was very, very simple, but the fact that you could tag in another fighter, so you could have two different fighters with very, very different styles against two fighters of the same style. You know, the series evolved with Tekken Tag Tournament, and Tekken 7 wasn't an evolution from Tekken 3 or Tekken 2, let alone from 6 or 5 or 4.
I do agree. Yeah, the tag was great. I remember playing, I think you could play King with Armored King, and it's kind of what I wanted to do for ages. But what really stood out, and I think it was Tekken Tag Tournament, was the bowling. I loved the bowling.
Yes.
That was so much fun. That was a game within itself.
It was. That was when mini games were done really well. You know, and I mean, you played quite a lot of Tekken 7, Tim, far more than what I did. So, and I think when we were playing, you were a much higher level. But a lot of that, the movement through levels, it was more just cosmetics, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so. They added this thing called Rage Meter, but like when me and my mate, the reason I have so many hours, we just play it, and we didn't use the silly moves. We wanted a way to turn it off, like what are they called in Unreal Tournament? The where you could like play around with like the gravity and stuff like that, or tweak things. Either way, we wanted to turn off the silly Rage Meter and all these finishing moves because we just wanted to play, you know, just original Tekken. And just beat the crap out of each other. So we did, but then when you played online, everybody's using all these fancy moves, and it just felt cheap. I think you're definitely right about the cosmetics, but that was in like other Tekkens as well. But then it went over the top animations and stuff like that, and it felt more like Dragon Ball Z or something like that. That's not really technique.
It was a step too far.
Mm.
It was a step too far for me. But maybe because my transition was from Tekken 1 and 2 to Tekken Tag Tournament and then to Tekken 7, skipping 3, 4, 5, and 6. So perhaps if I had moved with the series as the series moved on, if I'd moved on with the series, it wouldn't have been as jarring. But it was so far removed from what I can remember that it just didn't capture me like what the originals did. But I wanted to ask, I don't know whether you've mentioned this, because I think we kind of glossed over it, but Battlefleet Gothic Armada.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get on? What did you think?
I thought it was really good. I must admit, the first time I played it, I had just got back from my mate's house. It was like 2 a.m, and it really confused me. I was not sober. So I was like, I'll sit down the next day, but I was hungover. So I tried it the day after. I like the movement system. I like the shooting. I like the when you get to a certain point, like the raiding parties. The only thing that did wind me up, it's only the Imperium that has a campaign. When you go and play like skirmishes and stuff like that, I'm not sure if it's DLC, but no one else had a campaign. I really like to have like a Eldar Webway kind of campaign and stuff like that, you know. But it was fun. It was fun. It's one of those ones. Once you get used to the mechanics, I found myself just, you know, like half an hour before bed, I just feel like a quick skirmish, you know.
Yeah,
just my fleet versus your fleet. Let's go. And I must admit, the reason I was saying this, I really liked playing the Eldar, believe it or not. I would have thought it'd be the Orcs, but I really like the Eldar.
there is a Chaos campaign expansion,
and that's who I wanted to play. I was like, oh, I really want to play Chaos.
So there was an expansion that you could buy, which was the Chaos. I thought there was more than just the Imperial campaign in
If
the base
there
game,
is,
but
I might not have found it.
I could be wrong.
It doesn't matter. I had a lot of fun with it, mate. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. And did you not? The thing that I really liked about it was that it felt like Warhammer.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
But it felt like Warhammer. You know, these cathedral-size void ships just blasting the shit out of each other. It felt like Warhammer.
I found myself mid-battle pausing it and just zooming in. Like, oh my god, is this game just beautiful? Because when you're doing like on the, it's kind of like an axle map essentially, isn't it? The way that you different dimensions of how your ships are going all over the place. But yeah, I was just impressed by the scale of it. When you zoomed out, it's just little blobs, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Get all the tactics done, and then zoom in and just see what happens. I found that really cool.
Yeah,
small little things, man, and anything Warhammer related. You know.
and the story falls perfectly into the lore as well.
It does.
You know, after Abaddon's 13th Black Crusade, Cadia is gone, so it just falls perfectly into established lore. So I think it's really, really well done.
That's what I mean. I'm not really a fan of tutorials, but that was it. It was the Black Crusade. It was the tutorial. I was like, But I did realise you couldn't save it in the tutorial.
And is it the phalanx or the phalanx, the
Space
Imperial
War.
Fist's flagship, the huge I think it comes in at the end of the tutorial.
Yes.
You get to control it, and it just obliterates everything. It's a cracking game.
Yeah, and just the whole time you're just having like space Vikings or just going like kill him. It's like no, get out of the way at first. But it was great. It was really fun, mate. And I
think when we recommended these games, we said that you had Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, which was at the deep end of the lore pool, I guess, and we also had Boltgun, which was recommended to Ian, which we said was at the shallow end. It was, you could pick it up and you could play it, and you didn't really need to know about Warhammer in order to enjoy the game. You didn't need to understand the story. How did you get on with that one?
Well, you know how much I love Shallow, so I got on with great. I actually really liked Boltgun. It really took me back to, those old days of playing Doom, with my dad. So it kind of like had a nostalgic feel for it. But like the way that like when you shoot and like the bullets have like their little rockets and everything, it just felt so satisfying every single time I pulled the trigger, and I thought that was really cool. I thought the weapons were really cool. I thought the Warhammer 40K environment was really cool because I'm still a bit of a Warhammer 40K virgin. Uh, I guess I've learned a little bit, but we did do a special on that, whole episode on that a couple episodes back. If you're interested, you can go and
Yes.
check that out. And but I enjoyed the Warhammer 40K. I think it's interesting. I think it's a really cool environment, and can't wait to see what the franchise comes up with next. Especially because they have what TV shows coming out and stuff.
There is, but there's also a demo for Boltgun 2 available
Yeah.
at the moment.
Oh, nice. I'll have to
Yeah,
check that
that's
out.
coming out soon, isn't it?
It'll be this year. They haven't confirmed anything beyond 2026. So in the next 6 months. But a demo is always a good sign, isn't it?
Mm.
It's always a good sign.
Ooh, I wonder who that'll be against this time.
Chaos again, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And I think that they because in the first one you played as the Ultramarine, and I think in the second one you get a choice between playing as the original Ultramarine or playing as one of the Sisters of Battle.
Oh, that makes
Instead.
sense.
So like different weapon options and things like that as well. It'd be nice to see because it's Boltgun's like it's a boomer shooter. It is a perfect Doom clone, isn't it? And it'd be interesting to see whether the other class of hero in Boltgun plays differently in terms of maybe weaker, more accurate, or whatever. Better at range rather than running in with your chainsaw chopping people up.
Cleansing things as well. That could be a massive part. Yeah.
Flamers. Yeah.
Yeah, flamers.
Be interesting to see.
Rhinos with massive mortar cathedrals.
Yeah, man. It's worth a look.
Yeah, for sure.
So is that it then? Have we covered all of the games?
That was the 6 games. Yeah.
I was going to say there's not
5
really much
games.
Yeah, 5 games. There's not really much like an add to Far Cry 5. If you played Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Far Cry 6, I'm assuming, it's Ubisoft. You go to place A, you take over island, kill bad guy, go to the next place. But the gunplay is satisfying. The doggo's cute. The tutorial was actually really, really annoying. And that's one thing about playing on PC. Because it was made in, 2016? You can tell when you're going into a cutscene because it instantly goes down to 30 FPS and goes into like a smaller resolution.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bit jarring. But apart from that, it was a fun, silly shooter by fucking Ubisoft.
Yeah. Out of 5 stars, what do you give it?
3.5.
3.5. That's fair. That's fair.
It's better than okay.
And then, Al, how would you rate Tekken? Was it Tekken 7?
Yep.
How would you rate that out of 5 stars?
5 stars. It's a good game. And I think this is rating things. I mean, it's all very subjective, but I have to kind of put my journalistic head on and say it is a really good game. It's just for me personally, I would having been bloodied on the original Tekkens and Tekken Tag Tournament, I would rate it personally around a 2. As a standalone game, if I was to take Tekken 7 in isolation away from the other Tekkens, where I got off my experience, I'd say it's much higher than that. It's certainly not a 4 out of 5. Probably, like Tim's rating a 3.5. It is a good game. It is. I just needed to cast off my this is just Tekken 2, but looks nicer with the addition of cosmetics. Because that's really all it was. But it is Tekken's a fantastic game. It is. I think that I would have enjoyed it more if I was sat on a PlayStation or an Xbox with a controller next to a mate and a few beers, rather than at my desk online across cyberspace. Because I think that was always the joy of Tekken, was being able to sit next to somebody, take the piss, and
elbows to the chin.
yeah, as we've covered in previous episodes on this podcast, the social aspect of gaming is really, really important, and with the prevalence of online gaming, you lose a lot of that. You lose a lot of that camaraderie and companionship which comes from being in the same room as somebody on a big TV, laughing about it. You don't get the same connection with a mate playing across cyberspace. It just doesn't have the same impact. So I think if I would imagine if I had a 6-pack of beer, a PlayStation 5, Tekken 7, and 2 controllers and a mate, I reckon that my rating would go up far higher, because that's where the joy of gaming comes from with those types of games.
Okay.
The method in which it was played detracted a lot from the quality of the game.
That's fair to say.
So as we're going for ratings, Stellaris.
So, since I didn't really play it that much, I'm gonna have to give it 3 stars out of 5. I think it's a gorgeous game. I think it's a very polished, well-made game with a lot of content to it. I just didn't quite vibe with it, but I don't think that should take away from the game at all. I think there's plenty of people who would, just absolutely love this game. So, yeah, I'd say about a 3 or 4 out of 5.
Yeah, well, 3's like the middle grounds, as in it's okay. Anything above that is better than okay. Like for me, with Battlefleet Gothic, I think Gothic. I did an orc there, didn't I?
Gothic.
Gothic. I would say probably most people would think it's a 4, but because I'm well into that, I'd give it a solid 4.5. It's not perfect, but it's really good subjectively,
Okay, that's pretty good. 4.5.
I think most people would say like 3.5, 4, because it's a really solid game.
This should be funny. Al, what would you like to review Remnant 2 at?
0 stars.
0 stars. There it is. Okay.
Yep. And finally,